Never judge a book by its cover. There are many animals you don't consider dangerous, but are capable of the worst. Best thing is to be cautious and stay away from them if you're not familiar with them or their species. Have you ever heard of the cassowary? What about the platypus? If you'd like to discover animals with hidden skills, keep watching as we count down the top 15 surprisingly strong and dangerous animals. Number 15. Squirrels. Squirrels can jump 5 feet vertically and between objects that are more than 10 feet apart. Given that squirrels are less than 1/10 the size of humans, if you could do this, you'd be a superhero capable of leaping onto 5-story buildings and clearing buses and trucks in a single bound. They are fiercely territorial and will fight to the death to protect their territory. Mother squirrels are the more vicious when it comes to defending their young. The bite force of gray squirrels is approximately 7,000 pounds per square inch, psi. In comparison, the average human bite force is around 500 psi. Squirrels' incisors, like those of other rodents, grow continuously throughout their lives. The long-nosed snake wants to squeeze the life out of the squirrel's babies. When she senses danger, she signals them to retreat to their lair, but the snake has smelled them. Mom knows what she must do. She puts her life on the line and goes nose to nose with her kid's enemy. The only way the snake gets to the youngsters is by killing their mom. But her 4 ounces of true grit and her nerves of steel, along with her fabulous reflexes, deter the snake from continuing his little hunts because it's too much trouble. Number 14. Pufferfish. Biologists think pufferfish, also known as blowfish, develop their famous inflatability because of their slow, somewhat clumsy swimming style makes them vulnerable to predators. In lieu of escape, pufferfish use their highly elastic stomachs and the ability to quickly ingest huge amounts of water, and even air when necessary to turn themselves into a virtually inedible ball several times their normal size. Some species also have spines on their skin to make them even less palatable. A predator that manages to snag a puffer before it inflates won't feel lucky for long. Almost all pufferfish contain tetrodotoxin, a substance that makes them foul-tasting and often lethal to fish. To humans, tetrodotoxin is deadly, up to 1,200 times more poisonous than cyanide. There is enough toxin in one pufferfish to kill 30 adult humans. There is no known antidote. Amazingly, the meat of some pufferfish is considered a delicacy. Called fugu in Japan, it is extremely expensive and only prepared by trained licensed chefs who know that one bad cut means almost certain death for a customer. Let me call Uber Eats to cancel my order right away. Number 13. Killer cone snail. Gary, the snail from SpongeBob SquarePants, may look harmless, but if he's a cone snail, then he's a cold-blooded killer. The cone snail is a 6-inch sea critter that lives in reefs in the Indo-Pacific. They have brown and white shells, and believe it or not, feed on fish. So, how on earth does a small snail manage to bring down a fish? Well, the answer will see your water exploits limited to the bathtub from here on in. They are venomous, not just a little bit, but a whole lot. They are the most toxic of over 500 snail species and have several human deaths to answer for. They use an awful harpoon-like tooth to deliver their venom, which causes paralysis. But there is also no way to cure it other than try to keep the sufferer alive until the toxin wears off. But it's not all bad news. There's potential in the research world for the venom of a cone snail to form part of a pain-killing drugs. So far, it has been proven to be 10 times more powerful than morphine. Researchers must figure out how to make sure it doesn't kill anyone in the process. As you can see, no matter how small something is, you never know how potent or dangerous it can be. If it looks weird and you've never seen it before, stay away from it. Number 12. Tasmanian devil. The Tasmanian devil is the world's largest carnivorous marsupial, reaching 30 inches and weighing up to 26 pounds, although its size will differ depending on where it lives and the availability of food. Its oversized head houses sharp teeth and strong muscular jaws that can deliver pound for pound, one of the most powerful bites of any mammal. Once abundant throughout Australia, we now find Tasmanian devils only on the island state of Tasmania. Their Tasmanian range encompasses the entire island, although they are partial to coastal scrublands and forests. Tasmanian devils have a reputation for flying into a rage when threatened by a predator, fighting for a mate, or defending a meal. Sounds like my brother. Tasmanian devils are strictly carnivorous, surviving on small prey such as frogs, birds, fish, and insects. They prefer scavenging to hunting and frequently feast communally on carrion. They are at their most rowdy when jockeying for positions on a large carcass. Devils are solitary and nocturnal, spending their days alone in hollow logs, caves, or burrows, and emerging at night to feed. They use their long whiskers and excellent sense of smell and sight to avoid predators and locate prey in carrion. They'll eat pretty much anything they can get their teeth on, and when they find food, they are voracious, consuming everything including hair, organs, and bones. Number 11. Stingrays. Stingrays are commonly found in the shallow coastal waters of temperate seas. They spend most of their time inactive, partially buried in sand, often moving only with the sway of the tide. The stingray's coloration commonly reflects the seafloor shading, camouflaging it from predatory sharks and larger rays. Their flattened bodies are composed of pectoral fins joined to their head and trunk with an infamous tail trailing behind. While the stingray's eyes peer out from its dorsal side, its mouth, nostrils, and gill slits are situated on its underbelly. Its eyes are therefore not thought by scientists to play a considerable role in hunting. Like its shark relatives, the stingray is outfitted with electrical sensors. Located around the stingray's mouth, these organs sense the natural electrical charges of potential prey. Many rays have jaw teeth to enable them to crush mollusks such as clams, oysters, and mussels. When they are inclined to move, most stingrays swim by undulating their bodies like a wave. Others flap their sides like wings. The tail may also be used to maneuver in the water, but its primary purpose is protection. The stingray's spine or barb can be ominously fashioned with serrated edges and sharp points. The underside may produce venom, which can be fatal to humans, which can remain deadly even after the stingray's death. Remember what happened to that crazy Aussie Steve Irwin, aka Crocodile Hunter? Number 10. Moose. While moose are generally thought to be less dangerous than bears, moose injure people in Alaska each year than bears. When threatened, moose will usually flee, but under certain conditions, they can become aggressive. Moose are typically peaceful, solitary animals, but they have been known to charge and attack humans in certain situations. Alaska alone reports nearly 10 moose attacks per year. In 2001, a book called Bear Tales for the Ages published an account of a moose killing a fully grown Kodiak bear in a fair fight. The moose launched the first attack, charging at the bear and thrusting his antler tines into the bear's sides. Moose are huge and powerful, so if you ever encounter one on a hike, make sure you stay away from it unless you want to get trampled. Number 9. Cassowaries. The cassowary has been known to kill human beings with slashing blows of its feet, as the innermost of its 3 toes bears a long dagger-like nail. The bird has been observed moving rapidly along narrow tracks in the bush, sprinting as fast as 31 miles per hour. Cassowaries are curious, and they do attack from time to time, but attacks on humans are relatively rare. Those attacks that do occur overwhelmingly involve soliciting food from people. One of the most recent incidents came in 2012, when a tourist in Queensland, Australia was kicked by a cassowary off a ledge and into a body of water, but remains unharmed otherwise. One of the most famous attacks, and the only one known to result in a confirmed death, occurred in 1926. One member of a group of teenage boys hunting cassowaries was killed after a cassowary leapt upon him while he was on the ground. The bird slashed the boy's jugular vein with its long toenail. Whoever thought one toenail could be so deadly? Number 8. Slow loris. Slow loris is cute as can be, but beware, because sometimes cute can still be dangerous. The venom of the slow loris has no need to be used on prey, so it is solely a defense mechanism. These animals are typically non-aggressive and only bite when they feel very threatened. It is unclear whether the slow loris bites with its toxin to scare a predator or attacker off, or if it is to incapacitate the attacker so it can get away. The venom contains about 200 volatile components to it, and the structure of the venom is not yet known. The venom emits disgusting and nauseating smells from both the tooth comb in the mouth and directly from the brachial glands. The strong-smelling substance is usually released in times of stress. When this secretion gets into the mouth and is mixed with saliva, the oily substance becomes toxic. The slow loris is not to be taken lightly. Number 7. Blue-ringed octopus. It's tiny, beautiful, vibrant, and flits around the ocean so daintily, you would never expect it to be dangerous. But newsflash, the blue-ringed octopus is one of the deadliest octopi in the world. They carry enough poison to kill 26 people, but you may not even know if you've been bitten. Their painless bite causes 2 small puncture wounds, and it's a race against time to get rid of the tetrodotoxin from your body while fighting paralysis, heart failure, nausea, respiratory distress, and blindness. Sounds like a good time all around. Fortunately, attacks are rare. Most occur when humans accidentally stand on them in the ocean, and when the octopus feels threatened. If death does occur, it's due to a lack of oxygen. And the worst part is, they don't just use one type of venom, but two. The first one is from the saliva, which incapacitates its prey, but doesn't kill them. Then they go back and kill the victim with the second dose. They sound quite sadistic if you ask me. However, one is a defense venom while one is a murderous one. I think I'll pass. Number 6. Anteaters. Anteaters aren't particularly aggressive, but they can be fierce. When an anteater is cornered, it will rear up on its hind legs, using its tail for balance and lash out with its dangerous claws. The claws of the giant anteater are 4 inches long, and the animal can fight off a puma or a jaguar. They have poor vision, deafness, and no teeth. Nonetheless, anteaters can be lethal. In a new case report, scientists describe a gruesome anteater attack in northwestern Brazil that killed one hunter, just 2 years after another man was killed in a similar encounter with one of the long-nosed creatures. All anteaters adopt the same fear defense posture, rearing onto their hind legs and brandishing their extended claws. Claws, which are used to rip open concrete-hard termite and ant mounds, can do a lot of damage. Number 5. Swans. Swans have been introduced to lakes, ponds, and slow-flowing rivers throughout the world. But while they cut in elegant form, these birds can be aggressively territorial. Swans weigh as much as 28 pounds and can grow to have a wingspan of almost 8 feet long. Swans have been known to kill dogs to protect their nests. The reports of their ability to break legs with their wings have been greatly exaggerated. In 2012, a man in Chicago was kayaking in a pond at a residential complex when he was charged by a swan that capsized his boat. According to eyewitnesses, the swan prevented the man from swimming to shore, which eventually caused him to drown. The sad tale of Anthony Hensley, a 37-year-old man who worked for a company that provided swans to keep geese away from property, stands as a reminder of just how dangerous birds can be. But such incidents are very rare. If you approach a swan nest on the river, they might get aggressive and hiss and flap their wings. But the danger is overrated, and it's a myth that they will break your legs or arm with their wings. They are not that strong, and it's mostly show and bluster. They have a reputation for being a bit aggressive. However, a large swan can give a thump, and the best advice is to stay away from the nest, which is often a place along the bank or shore where the reeds are flattened and the female is sitting. Honestly, I wouldn't take the chance to find out how nasty they are. I would just keep a safe distance. Number 4. The platypus. Now here's an interesting creature we don't see every day. The platypus is a duck-billed, beaver-tailed, otter-footed, egg-laying aquatic creature native to Australia. If its appearance alone somehow fails to impress, the male of the species is also one of the world's few venomous mammals. Equipped with sharp stingers on the heels of its hind feet, the male platypus can deliver a strong toxic blow to any approaching foe. While the platypus generally inhabits freshwater rivers, wetlands, and billabongs down under, it's also known to venture into brackish estuaries. The platypus is a bottom feeder that uses its beaver-like tail to steer and its webbed feet to propel itself through the water while hunting for insects, shellfish, and worms. The watertight nostrils on its bill remain sealed so the animal can stay submerged for up to 2 minutes as it forages for food. The bill also comes equipped with specialized nerve endings, called electroreceptors, which detect tiny electrical currents generated by the muscular contractions of prey. It has no teeth, so the platypus stores its catch in its cheek pouches, returns to the surface, mashes up its meal with the help of gravel bits hovered up en route, and then swallows it all down. Number 3. Shrews. The elephant shrew is only a fraction of the size of an elephant. If an elephant walked and stepped on an elephant shrew by accident, you would have no idea. The elephant shrew received its name from the elephant shrew's long nose resembling an elephant's trunk. Elephant shrews, also called senjis, are like aardvarks, elephants, and manatees. Yet they are neither elephants nor shrews. They have trunk-like nostrils and consume insects with them. If they are feeling hungry, they won't hesitate to look for bigger game such as spiders, centipedes, and millipedes. The elephant shrew also has some powerful predators as snakes, lizards, and birds of prey will seek the shrew for their next meal. But the shrews like to live in pairs so they can join forces when attacked and are extremely skilled at avoiding the wrath of powerful predators. The Estrakan shrew prefer open habitats where grasslands and scrub meet deciduous forests. They only eat live food that they catch, and they catch 20 to 30 prey animals per day. This is even more impressive when one considers that they eat insects, which have wings and can grow to be larger than shrews, spiders, and myriapods, all of which are armed with lethal stings and venoms. Aside from amphibians, baby rodents, worms, and larvae, the shrew eat amphibians, baby rodents, worms, and larvae. while the estuarine shrew might be fatal to the body of an insect or animal. Humans are not at risk from shrew venom. However, estuarine shrew bites can cause swelling, pain, and a rise in body temperature. Shrews also get into fights, as you can see in this video. I guess all animals have disagreements, and the shrew is no exception. Did you ever think you would see a train made up of shrews? Well folks, here it is. The first choo-choo shrew train. This short-tailed shrew is the only North American mammal with venom. It's a cool fact, but it's no fun for this garter snake. This shrew goes right for the garter snake's neck, and once the venom takes effect, the shrew enjoys the feast. Number 2. Lionfish. Lionfish hail from the South Pacific and Indian Oceans, with their habitat stretching from Australia up to Japan and South Korea. Lionfish corner their prey against reef and rocks, then strike suddenly to swallow their prey whole. The venom of the lionfish, delivered via an array of up to 18 needle-like dorsal fins, is purely defensive. It relies on camouflage and lightning-fast reflexes to capture prey, mainly fish and shrimp. A sting from a lionfish is extremely painful to humans and can cause nausea and breathing difficulties, but is rarely fatal. A voracious species, lionfish's stomachs can expand up to 30 times their normal size after a meal, leaving the fish plenty of room for seconds. Lionfish not only have huge appetites, but also breed with similar gusto. They reproduce year-round, meaning a female can release about 2 million eggs per year. In humans, lionfish stings cause intense pain and sweating, and in extreme cases, respiratory distress and paralysis. The intensity and duration of these effects depends on an individual's sensitivity to the toxin and how many spines have stabbed them. The pain usually subsides after 1 or 2 days, but can sometimes persist for weeks. Number 1. Beaver. With their oversized front teeth, beady little eyes, and funny flat tails, beavers look less like crazed killers and more like the goofballs of the woods. Yet with their distinctive orange-colored incisors, these furry wonders can slash through a finger-sized tree branch with just a single chomp. So that begs the question, are beavers dangerous to humans? It turns out that yes. In certain circumstances, beavers might harm people and pets. In 2013, a man in Belarus approached a beaver hoping to capture a picture of it, but he apparently got too close, and the beaver managed to inflict a bite that severed an artery in his leg. He promptly bled to death. In 2018, a Pennsylvania man ventured out onto a kayak when a beaver attacked his watercraft and attempted to climb aboard. He smacked the beaver multiple times with the paddle to no avail. The beaver merely switched targets, instead attacking the man's young daughter. He is finally able to beat the beaver to death with a stick. Sometimes, beavers attack because they're deliriously sick with rabies. That's happened multiple times in the past few years, including a 2012 incident in which 2 Virginia girls were ambushed by a rabid beaver. Both girls survived, but received rabies treatments. But the truth is that beaver attacks make great headlines for one reason: they are incredibly rare. Most of these animals are scary, but the one that caught my attention the most is the platypus. What a funny looking animal. Which one was your favorite? Why don't you tell us in the comments below? Well, that's it for our countdown of the top 15 surprisingly strong and dangerous animals. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and let us know in the comments what you think. Check out our other videos and subscribe to be part of the fun. Click on the notification icon so you can see our new videos as soon as they're uploaded. That's it for now.